Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about the big question: how do we learn language? There are two big ideas. Think of them like two sides. Side one, or idea one, the environment. This idea says kids learn by listening and copying. The brain starts empty. The environment idea is that the world around you teaches you language. Side one, or idea one, the environment. This idea says kids learn by listening and copying. The brain starts empty. Side two, or idea two, the brain. This idea says kids are born with a special ability for language. The brain is ready. Now, let's look at 8 theories, starting from the environment side and moving to the brain side. 1. Behaviorism. This one is by Skinner. 2. Social interaction theory. This one is by Vygotsky. 3. Discourse theory. This one is by Hymes. 4. Acculturation model. This one's by Schumann. 5. Constructivism. This is by Piaget. 6. New Constructivism. 7. Nativism by Chomsky. And 8. Monitor model by Krashen. Behaviorism by Skinner. Again, this is by Skinner. This is all the way on the environment side. Learning is a habit. Kids copy what they hear. When they say a word correctly, parents give a reward, a smile, a toy, or the thing they ask for. Mistakes are ignored. So in class, as a teacher, you might see students repeating sentences like robots. I like apples. I like apples. You like apples. Lots of practice. Teachers correct every mistake. Again, behaviorism developed by Skinner says language is learned just like any other behavior through repetition, 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 imitation, and reinforcement. 2. Social interaction theory by Vygotsky. An adult helps. Then the child does it alone. This is Vygotsky. Language is learned through talking with people. There is a big phrase, zone of proximal development. That means what you can do with help today, you can do alone tomorrow. So as a teacher in class, use scaffolding. That is a fancy word for help. The teacher gives hints, examples, or shows how to do it. Then slowly, the student does it by themselves. 3. Discourse theory by Hymes. Then they try again. Can I please have that? The other smiles and shares. This is Hymes. Language is not about real situation. This is Hymes. Language is about real situations. You can know grammar, but if you don't know how to talk to people, you cannot communicate. You need to know, what do I say? Who am I talking to? When do I say it? So as a teacher in class, do role plays. Pretend to order food, pretend to ask for help. Have your students do this. Students learn how to use words in real life. I don't know if I'm saying this word right. Acculturation model by Schumann. This is about culture. If a student feels close to the new culture, they learn the language faster. If they feel distant, unwelcome, or scared, it is very hard to learn. So in class, teachers bring in culture. They play music, share food, and teach customs. They help the students feel like they belong. 5. Constructivism by Piaget. Language is part of thinking and growing. Kids learn in stages as their brain grows. They learn by doing, touching, playing, figuring things out, not just by listening. So, in class, as a teacher, provide hands on activities, experiments. Let the students touch the object while learning the word for it. 6. New Constructivism. This is learning is active. Learning is active. Students build knowledge based on what they already know. They learn by making things like projects, art, models. When they practice, language becomes automatic. So in class, as a teacher, provide cooperative, how you say that word? Cooperative, cooperative learning, aka group projects, problem solving together. Next, number 7, Nativism by Chomsky. Okay, so now we're going to the brain side. He says kids are born with a language acquisition device, also known as LAD. It is like a language machine in the brain. Kids do not just copy, they figure out rules. When a child says, I bringed instead of brought, that is good. It means their brain is working. Another term we need to learn is called critical period. If you do not learn language before puberty, it is much harder. So that's why high school students struggle to learn Spanish in class because they have passed the critical period. So in class, as a teacher, give a lot of language input. Do not correct every mistake and let the brain do the work. 8. Monitor model by Krashen. This is very important by Krashen. He says there is a difference between acquisition and learning. So, acquisition is learning naturally without thinking, like how a baby learns. But learning, that it means studying grammar rules. Another concept we need to remember is called input hypothesis. Students need language that is just a little bit above their level, easy enough to understand, but with one new thing. Students need comprehensible input. That means it's language just a bit above their language. So, to say that whole sentence we just put I plus 1. Language just a bit above their language. Another concept we need to remember is called affective filter. If a student is stressed, embarrassed, or scared, their brain puts up a wall. No language gets in. If the classroom is safe, positive, and calm, the wall comes down. So in class, as a teacher, use stories, use pictures, and use conversations. Keep it low stress. Do not force students to speak before they are ready. Conclusion. So, which side is right? The environment or the brain? For teaching Spanish, we use all of these. Again, I repeat, for teaching Spanish, we use all of these. 1, we use rewards like Skinner. 2, we give help like Vygotsky. 3, we teach real life communication like Hymes. 4, we make culture feel safe like Schumann. And 5, we let students do hands-on activities like Piaget. 6, we let them build projects like Constructionism. I don't know if I said that right. And 7, we trust the brain is ready like Chomsky. And 8, and we keep it calm and positive like Krashen. Every student is different. Every brain is different. But all students learn best when they feel safe, supported, and seen. So review. Number 1, behaviorism. That's external reinforcement by Skinner. That means we use rewards. 2. Social learning theory. That's modeling and observation by Hymes, and that is real life communication. 3. Constructivism. That's active engagement by Piaget. What does that mean? Hands on activities. And Constructionism. That means construct something, build projects. Number 4. Ecological systems theory. Well, aka environmental by Schumann. That means makes culture feel safe. Did I say that right? Ecological systems theory, nested environmental context. Schumann make culture feel safe. And 5, information processing theory. Brain as computer, logical processing. 6, social cultural theory. Internalization. That's by Vygotsky. Give, help, aka scaffolding. 7. Nativism theory. That's innate language by Chomsky. Trust the brain is ready. And 8. Evolutionary development theory. That's brain. Architect by Krashen. That means keep it calm and positive. How our brains learn. How our brains learn language. The environment versus the brain. Have you ever wondered how you learned to talk? Was it because you copied your parents like a parrot? Or was your brain born with the secret language computer already inside? We're going on a journey through 5 layers of learning to find out. First, let's meet the brain experts. Krashen. Krashen's big secret. There is a difference between acquisition and learning. Acquisition is like breathing. You just pick up the words by hearing them. But learning is when you sit down with a book to study rules. Vygotsky's training wheels. He talked about ZPD, zone proximal development. Think of a teacher like training wheels on a bike. They give you just enough help so you don't fall, but eventually they'll let go so you can ride alone. Chomsky's brain computer. He says you have a LAD, language acquisition device. It's a tiny grammar computer in your head. You don't learn grammar, your brain discovers it. Okay, number 1. What happens when things go wrong? The I bringed it mystery. A kid says, I bringed my toy. A behaviorist will say, no, say brought. But a nativist like Chomsky would smile. Why? Because the kid's brain figured the ed rule all by itself. That's a smart brain at work. The too hard book situation. Okay? If I give a beginner a medical textbook, they won't learn. Krashen says we need I plus 1. That means the lesson should be your level, I, plus just one tiny step higher. If it's I plus 100, the brain shuts down. So that's why it's I plus 1. Because it's just a little bit more harder to understand. 3, let's go deeper. The slow monitor. Why can you pass a grammar test but forget the rules when you're talking to a friend? Because learning is slow, but acquisition is a reflex. You can't read a manual while playing tag. Let's talk about the right words. Hymes says it's not just about correct words, it's about right words. Telling a sad friend, you look healthy, might be a good grammar, but it's bad social skills. Moving on to Piaget and Chomsky. Piaget thinks language is just part of being smart. Chomsky thinks language is its own special superpower, separate from everything else. Let's build a classroom. If we ran the school here in our 30-minute plan, this is how it would look like. 10 minutes, the story. We listen to fun stories with the lots of pictures. That would be input. 10 minutes, the team. We would talk to a partner to figure out what happened. That would be social. And then 10 minutes, the real world. We act it out. If the story was about snacks, we pretend to order at a cafe. That's communication. Moving down our next agenda. The next item is the adventure of talking. Did you know that learning to talk it's like playing a video game? You start at level 1 and slowly unlock the new power-ups until you're a pro. We're looking at the two ways we learn, as babies and as students. Part 1. Your first language, the baby path. When you were a tiny baby, your brain was busy getting ready. Here's how you leveled up. Level 1. Babbling, 0 to 12 months. You didn't have any words yet, so you practice with goo goo and ba. This is your brain warming up the muscles in your mouth. Level 2. The one word stage, 1 year. Suddenly, bam, a real word, milk or data. One word does the work for a whole sentence. Moving on to level 3, the telegraphic stage. This happens at 2 years. Like a short text message, mommy go car, or doggy eat. No extra words, just the important ones. Level 4, school age. This happens at 5 years and up. You unlock the full map. You use big sentences and learn social rules, like when to be quiet and how to take turns. Now, let's look at part 2. Your second language, the classroom path. This is when the students are learning Spanish. Now, imagine you're learning a new language in school, Spanish. Your brain follows a different set of levels. Level 1, the silent stage. This is also called as the pre-production stage. You're like a sponge. You listen and you watch. You might point or nod your head, but you aren't ready to speak yet. That's okay. Your brain is just downloading the data. Level 2, early production. You start using power words. You say yes, no, or water. It's small, but it's a start. Level 3, speech emergence. Now you're building. You say short sentences like, I like games, or can I go? You might make some mistakes, but people understand you. Level 4, intermediate fluency. You can talk for a long time. You use longer sentences and make fewer mistakes. You can explain how you feel or tell a story. Level 5, advanced fluency. You're a pro. You can talk about science, history, or jokes just in Spanish just as well as anyone else. Moving on to the next topic. If you ever felt like a traditional lesson plan just wasn't clicking for your student, you are not alone. In language learning, we know that the brain learns in thousand different ways. Today, we're breaking down 8 powerful teaching methods, from high energy movement to the power of silence, to help you find the perfect fit for your learner. Let me go over them real quick. The 8 powerful teaching methods. 1 is direct, next. Audiolingual method, next. Community language learning. Number 4, cognitive approaches. 5, TPR. 6, the natural approach. 7, Suggestopedia. And the last one, silent way. Okay, first, let's talk about the direct method. Think of this as total immersion, no translating. You use real objects and pictures. It's great for students who struggle with abstract logic but thrive on visual cues. Next, we have TPR, or total physical response. This is basically Simon Says. You give a command like touch your nose and the student moves. It's amazing because it removes the pressure to speak immediately, which is perfect for students with speech delays or high anxiety. Now, if your student loves routine and structure, you might like the audiolingual method. It's all about drills and repetition. It's all about drills and repetition. It builds muscle memory for the mouth. On the flip side, we have cognitive approaches. This is for our detective learners who want to know why a rule exists. Instead of just memorizing, you're helping them solve the puzzle on how language works. For students with high affective filters, meaning they shut down when they're stressed, we look at the natural approach and suggest, ¿cómo se dice? Suggestopedia. I need help. The natural approach mimics how we learned as babies. So the natural approach is lots of stories and no harsh corrections. And the Suggestopedia takes it a step further by using music and a relaxed environment to lower anxiety. If your student is easily overstimulated, a calm musical style might be the breakthrough you need. Finally, our last method is a silent way. In the silent way, you stay mostly quiet. You use color rods or charts to let the student discover the answer. It builds massive confidence. Then we have the community language learning part. This is student centered. The teacher is a counselor. Students decide what to learn. For teachers, you will do small group discussions with teacher support. And that is all, folks. Thank you for studying with me.